So it looks like Realm Royale finally has some serious competition when it comes to being a class-based battle royale in Apex Legends. But what can they do to compete? Let's talk about this. Hey everybody, what is going on? Brandon here with yet another Realm Royale video. Now, I'm sure unless you've been living under a rock over the last couple days, you have heard of Apex Legends basically just shadow launching a few days ago with no marketing really whatsoever. And it's had a lot of people, including myself, questioning whether or not this is going to mean Realm Royale is going to be kind of kicked to the curb, with a lot of players leaving Realm Royale to go to Apex Legends. Now, Realm did just drop on console not too long ago, and this does have me a little bit worried as far as when it comes to their console player base, how many people are going to be leaving Realm Royale now to go to Apex Legends, because they are both free-to-play, class-based battle royale games, and that's had me really wondering what this means for Realm Royale, and start theorizing what Realm Royale could do in order to kind of not really get on top, but to compete and still keep a good hold on their player base. Now, I do not think Apex Legends is going to completely kill the Realm Royale player base. I don't think that's going to happen, mostly because they're just two completely different games. They play nothing alike. I've been playing both, and honestly, they are so different that there is no way I could say that I would get the same gratification from Realm Royale while playing Apex Legends, or vice versa. I feel like they're two completely different styles of games. They play completely different. So I don't think that we're going to have to worry about losing a great amount of players in Realm Royale. I don't think the community itself is going to take too big of a hit. I do think we will see some dips in player counts, at least for a little while Apex Legends is still brand new. But I really think that most people are going to be probably a lot like me in the aspect where I can play either one, and I play either one for different reasons, so I don't see it really taking away any of the player count. But it did get me thinking that I have some suggestions for the creative team over there at hi-rez, if they want to take the time to listen on some things they can maybe think about incorporating into their game to possibly not only make it better, but also help push it along and just change things up a little bit and polish it a little bit more. Now, the biggest thing, when Realm Royale first launched, the class system was way different than what it is now. We've seen them remove the classes completely, and they got rid of the engineer permanently. And then they changed the classes up when they finally did put them back to where they resemble what they used to be, but they are still pretty different than what they were originally. Now, originally you could only use these skills. You could not pick up a skill that was a warrior skill if you were an assassin, etc. The armor system was completely different. I actually really like the original armor system where you actually had to pick up the pieces of the armor, your gauntlets, your chest piece, your helmet, your leggings. I really liked that, and then you had to repair those. I still really like that system. I kind of wish they'd put it back. I know a lot of people really liked it. Now, it was pretty complicated as far as the back end on what could go wrong with that system. I can understand them trying to find something a little bit more simple and elegant, but it was a really cool and interesting way to go about that system. So one suggestion would be put that back. That would be really cool. But another suggestion when it comes to the classes would be ultimate abilities that are class specific. And by ultimate ability, I do not mean like an ability that you could swap out, or you can forge, or you can find one of a better rarity. I mean, just no. The class has a specific ultimate ability that charges up depending on the actions performed throughout the match so far. And yes, I took a lot of inspiration off this from Apex Legends, seeing that Apex Legends had a similar system. But, I mean, it's been in Paladins for a really long time and would be really easy to incorporate in this. I would say something like Sky's Time Bomb for the Assassin class, possibly. Maybe it charges up faster with the more headshots you get, or the more damage you deal out. Or maybe for the Warrior, choose Fernando's ultimate, or Ash's, maybe. Some kind of invulnerability for the team or squad within so many feet of the player. I think that would be really cool. Maybe it charges up the more damage you take, because warriors are more tanky and they have more health, so maybe the more damage you take over the course of a match, the faster your ultimate would charge up. I think that would be really good, and also kills give it a little bit of a boost no matter what class. Mages and hunters, I'm not really sure what abilities use for them. I would think mage maybe use Eevee's ability, or Saris. I think one also way they could incorporate that would be almost bringing over the Legendaries system from Paladins, but rather than the Legendary cards adding a buff, maybe at the beginning of the match or in their loadout, they can choose what ultimate ability they're wanting to have as their, not really a passive, but as what's going to charge up throughout the matches. They have to pick one, and if they don't go into their inventory and have one set, they're going to be stuck with whatever is default for that class. I think that would be a really interesting way to go. And I think it would change up in-game quite a bit, especially when you have teams and squads camping in forges. Could you imagine if an assassin had been saving up his time bomb all the way to in-game, and there's a team trying to camp inside of a forge? I think if any of you have played Paladins, you will know Sky's time bomb has crazy range. You really got to react fast to it, and that could cause a squad to scatter and separate, which could, you know, be beneficial to the team that set up the trap. Or if you are that squad inside there and that happens, maybe using the ultimate that works with like Fernando. So you got invulnerability for you and anybody surrounding you for like a few seconds. You could kind of wait out that time bomb, and then the one squad's pretty much wasted their ultimate. I think that would be a really interesting thing. Maybe even make it to where they can only use the ultimate once. I wouldn't say that'd be a need. I'd say that might be a good way to do it, or just do it to where it takes a really long time to charge up. But if you got a really good assassin, they can charge it up even more. I think that would be a really interesting system to incorporate, especially in this game now, to compete with Apex. I think the ultimate abilities would help change up in-game quite a bit. Another suggestion, which I've actually already made a video about before, months and months and months ago, would be races. Adding different races to the game. Now, I really don't think it would work as well as it would have when I did the video on it before. When I did the video on it before, there was a lot more wiggle room as to what they could do with the characters, because everything was locked down to a class. So, but when they've changed the classes up so much, and they've added so many different skins and the different passives, because the passives are all so much different now with the classes, I think adding races would be very complicated. I still think it would be doable, but I do still think it would be kind of a pain. I think that ship may have sailed. They might have took the game too far to really be able to actually put races in and have them actually be beneficial. Now, obviously, with skins, you can do different races. I think that might be the better way to just go about this. That way, it's more of a visual thing instead of a passive. But I mean, it could be possible, I guess, to do it in the game in its current state. Would just take a lot more work. But definitely, if you didn't see my video about that one, check it out. It's older, doesn't really fit in today's version of the game, but if you didn't play the game back then, you might watch it. It's pretty interesting to see where the game was then and where it is now. One thing I'd really like to see them also try to do would be to incorporate more map changes more frequently. I would say maybe every month or two, do some kind of significant change to the map. I know we got the catapults today, but I mean, it took a really long time to get those. And I know if you're on console, you're like, what do you mean? The game's only been out for, you know, what, a month or two? It's not been that long. But for PC users, the map's pretty much gone unchanged for a while. So it would be nice to see them change the map up a little bit more frequently and a little bit more significantly, even if it doesn't change the mobility like the catapults do. Just changing the scenery, give people something new or interesting to look at. I would say something like World of Warcraft Cataclysm or Wrath of the Lich King, how they changed the maps up with those expansions in World of Warcraft. Do something like that with this. I mean, I really want to see them play on the fantasy aspect of this game a lot more. I think that is the crowd we want to see them try to keep and bring over more of. The people that don't generally play Battle Royale games, the people that are playing games like World of Warcraft or Elder Scrolls Online. Those are the players that we want to bring over. I think they should be trying to get, and I really think they should be focusing more on the fantasy side. I've already said it multiple times. I'm very upset with that they keep adding the automatic weapons back. They got rid of them before. They keep putting them back in. I wish they'd make up their mind so people can adjust. I honestly do not like the automatic weapons in the game. I think it takes away from the fantasy feel, and I know I hear y'all screaming already, oh, but those guns are in Paladins. This game, yes, I get that. I do understand this game is supposed to be in the same world of Paladins, so it makes sense those guns would exist, but it just, to me, just doesn't feel right in this game, and it does get really obnoxious. And my last suggestion for hi-rez, if you're watching, this is the most single most important thing I can say in this entire video. So I really want you to pay attention. So please, if you need to, stare at the computer screen, listen carefully. Give the assassin some love. Seriously. This has been one of the biggest things that's upset me with this game, is the lack of love and appreciation for the assassin class. There is so many skins for warriors, mages, and hunters, and hardly anything for the assassin. I think we have 2 skins that have released for the assassin, both of which being in the battle pass. One being a dinosaur skin, which I'd hate to say it, guys, but people don't really like dinosaurs very much anymore. That wasn't a very interesting looking skin. I mean, some people might have been interested in it, but it really wasn't a very cool one. And then we got the shinobi, or the I think it's the shinobi skin in this patch, which is, it's interesting looking. It doesn't look that cool though. And then the last skin you unlock is for the warrior, and that's kind of a bummer. You have a battle pass that is literally about pirates and ninjas, and the assassin class, the ninja of the classes, really got screwed over. And then in the cash shop, there's no assassin skins either. So it's like, you really need to show some love to the assassin class and focus on your cosmetics, because as cool as some of the cosmetics are, a lot of them just, I don't know, there's something about them, they're just not really doing it. This battle pass was a step up when it comes to the cosmetics, but for the most part, they're not as cool as I would hope for a fantasy-based game. So get your art team from Paladins behind this. They make some really crazy skins. Get them on board. Get them to help you guys whip up some good cosmetics. But aside from that, those are all my suggestions. I know that I basically said a lot of things that other games have already done that I'm saying hi-rez should borrow off of, but guys, let's face it, it's hi-rez. They borrow off companies all the time. That's literally what they're known for. So I'm not going to sit there and tell them to not do their thing. Borrow, just change it a little bit and make it different. But guys, that's all the time I got for this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't really anything about cold hard facts or what is coming to the game, and more theorizing and giving suggestions to the creative team, so hopefully we can see some interesting things come to the game. It's more of a I hope this comes to the game video than anything. But we had the patch today with the catapults dropped, so I decided to go ahead and do a video talking about some things I'd like to see, especially in the light that Apex Legends now has showed up and has given Realm Royale at least a little bit more competition. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video and you want to see more, please do me a favor and click that red subscribe button. If you want to know anytime Nathan or I upload videos, please do me a favor and click that bell icon so you can get notifications. And I will see you all next time.
Inexplicable.